Come on.
Okay, so you know what that's all like.
But it's for you and it's just for fun. Okay? It looks much more impressive than it is. Look at all that. Susan, it does include you. Look at all that.
Kneel down there.
I love the paper.
Well, we couldn't get tennis papers, so we got sport.
Notice there's no
Every time, yeah, notice what's missing.
Notice what's missing.
Go into the store and try to get
Yes, you can't find it. Can you get it, Jim? Just open the box. Jim got up early this morning and cut it all.
It's not ticking. I know it's not.
Here we go.
That is great.
Is that the right height?
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the way.
That one drove your backhand. Yeah, Larry was going to say, and my serve. I'll be a terror for
I'm
that.
not sure it's competition proof. Pastor, we put down as
Give me a good pose for that one.
Celebration. I was in an office here in town this week and there was a picture on the wall or a plaque on the wall. And I thought it was so fitting for our occasion today. I'd like to read it to you. Some people come into our lives and quickly go. Some stay for a while, leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never the same. Pastor Reiter, you've left footprints on all of our hearts. Thank you. Susan, we welcome you too today. Mark, thanks for being with us. I'd like to thank a few other people. The fellowship committee that put together the cake and the punch and everything, thank you. And to our staff, Brian, Phyllis, and Laura, who got everything set up and in fact put the program together we're using today. So thanks to all of them. At this point, we have a few things to present and to go through this afternoon. And first, I'd like to call on Nancy Hopkins, who will read a poem that she wrote for this occasion. Nancy?
Poor Pastor Don.
Talk nice and loud.
Several years ago in New Smyrna Beach, can y'all hear this? Several years ago in New Smyrna Beach, a new pastor came to teach and to preach. He wasn't staying long, a year, maybe 2. Then he would leave because he would be through. But a funny thing happened when it was his time to go. The people wanted him to stay because they loved and respected him so. I can sure see why they didn't want to part. He can preach really fine, and he has a kind heart. His messages are interesting, timely, and fun. Your mind never wanders from the time he starts till he's done. His Sunday school classes are really quite great. You can learn a whole lot if you don't come in late. If you're sad, he will talk with you any time of day. And if you're sick, he will come to sit and to pray. He has taught us lots of things over the years about prayer and the church and how to deal with our fears. The man's really smart and a multitasker for sure. He will converse with you while he writes as you walk through his door. He likes to talk with the kids about Jesus and heaven, and he makes sure we all know that once he was 7. I was 9 once. And at Christmas, if you send him a card green and red, there better not be wise men by that manger bed.
Great.
His wife's name is Susan, and in the choir she sings. Their son's name is Mark, who great joy to them brings. It's tennis he likes, and over the big court he races. He even has been to some matches in faraway places. One day he got sick, and our church got real sad. But after much prayer he got better, and now we're so glad. He is leaving us now to enjoy life and rest. It's going to be hard, 'cause he is the best. He's our teacher, our shepherd, our preacher and friend. And I have one more thing to say before we come to the end. We know he was sent here from God who reigns high above to shepherd us with wisdom, compassion, and love. So Pastor Don, we say thank you for all that you've done. In our humble opinions, we think you are second to none.
Trinity's council and Wednesday staff meetings, preaching and teaching and hugs for a greeting, I-95 drives and home visiting. These are the things that have made his heart sing. Beautiful Susan and working son Mark, Max playing fetch and long walks in the park, New York, Vancouver, Cape Cod in the spring. These are the things that have made his heart sing. Counting sit-ups, eating healthy, iPhones are what's past. The blessings God brings will make his heart sing, and then he will feel so glad. More time with family and more time with friends. Travels to Greece, Turkey, and Holy Lands. Tennis each day with a clinic or two. These are all things that he'll now get to do. Working with Synod on favorite topics.
Thank you, Parish Pastor Relations Committee and the choir. Y'all did a wonderful job. At this time, I'd like the staff to come up. They have a few things they'd like to say.
Karen, you want me to take that hat and those glasses?
Here you go, girls. Well used.
Yes, doesn't it?
Good boy.
Okay. We're ready.
We're ready.
Are we ready?
You're not.
Okay, I'm not, but we are. Okay, Pastor Don, since 2006, we shared 192 staff meetings. Including birthdays, anniversaries, and off-site parties.
I like those.
Okay, we've worked together with former staff members, custodians Marvin and Susie, music director Jose, and parish nurse Lynn Hansen. And for the last 4 years, Brian Larson, and 2 years with Laura. All different personalities, all different backgrounds, and different job descriptions. But you worked with us in the transformation of 3 individuals into a team and created a bond between us that cannot be broken. And here we are today celebrating with you as the 4th member of our team. I thought to share with you a few of the many things that Phyllis did not know.
But she knew everything.
Things that I did not know before meeting Pastor Don.
Put the microphone up.
And that I will remember always celebrating his ministry. First, in the beginning, I didn't realize how excited I would be seeing a new pastor move a microwave into the office. And then a refrigerator. And oh my God, here came the love seat with a sofa bed. I said, okay, it's a little extreme, but we're ready. Or should I say that I was ready? And thumbs up. My thought was, he's staying for a while. Another thing I didn't realize was that my office mascot was a little dinosaur. That reminds me of the reptilian side of my brain. Thanks, Pastor Don. Or PD to close friends.
She's PD1, I'm PD2.
I didn't know that I could overcome fear with a scripture boogie board presented to me by Pastor Don. Thank you, Pastor Don.
Do you use it?
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's too long a story and it's his day. I didn't know before Pastor Don that there was a difference between trespass and trespass. But I'll always remember that when I'm saying the Lord's Prayer. One thing also that I didn't realize was that I would become such a great fan of a policy and procedures manual. I cannot start a workday without it. And also, what would I do without line numbers on documents? And oh yes, the proper placement for parentheses. I think I want to say thank you, but I'm not quite sure. Also, I didn't know that in 7 years, I would travel the world to places like Cape Cod, Massachusetts, New York City, Seattle, Vancouver, Italy, Ireland, and oh yes, Paris, France, through slideshow presentations. Finally, I didn't know that a pastor could make the staff look so good to a congregation. You encouraged us to be ourselves, you respect us, and you teach us that we are called to serve God at Trinity. We were hired here to work, but you've always made us feel like we were called here, for which I am eternally grateful. Thank you. And now another part of our staff, Laura Jones, is going to share a quick presentation. I think with props on.
Don't be late tomorrow.
No, I
Well, I just have been trying to think of a few words that describe Pastor Dawn in the time that I've known him. So in true Pastor Dawn form, we're going to go this way.
You want a highlighter for that?
I would, if they would see it. Okay. He's patient. Well, most of the time. He's active. And he's spiritual. He's thorough.
Obnoxious.
I'll go with that. He's outgoing. And he's restorative. He is differentiated. He's optimistic. He's nice. He's approachable. He's a leader, and he's diligent. He's resourceful. He's an extrovert. He's intelligent, thoughtful, enlightened, and renewed. Sorry. Sorry. I'm not a public speaker. I haven't had as much time with you as others, but the time I've had with you has been interesting and fun, and I've learned a lot. And I want to thank you for your service to God and to all the people you've touched in your calling, especially the people at Trinity. Your services help to make this a beautiful place to work in and help the people here to be a bright light in our community. And I hope the next chapter of your life gives you enough challenges to not be bored, stamina to see you through all that you want to do, and lots of fun to enjoy the ride.
Was in his teaching.
Many thanks to the staff and to John for their work on this show. At this time, I'd like to introduce Pat Droz, who's Vice President of our Church Council, to make a presentation. Pat?
I'll be right back.
That's great. Okay. Secret entrance.
She comes out the back.
She does a zip line.
A lot of reading. The word got out a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, that you finally learned how to read. Congratulations. We also understand that you love books. And so in thinking about a gift, we thought, well, I wonder if he could use another book. So knowing me and you, I Googled. And I came up with this. And it is a loving tribute to you from us, your congregation. Read it, enjoy it, and live it. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pat. This time I'd like to introduce Karen Tehan, who's our treasurer. Karen?
If Jim Curtis is here, I'm here to tell you that there isn't any more money in the treasury. This congregation wanted to show you how much we love you. We wish you only the best. And inside this little golden envelope is something to express our love for you in a retirement gift that you and Susan can hopefully do something that you enjoy. I was there at the beginning.
You were.
And I'm here at the not end to tell you that you've brought more to this congregation than you'll ever know. We were called conflicted, and you came, and you make us healthy. We will never forget that, and we will never be the same. But we will go forward to do what you taught us. We love you.
Thank you, Karen. Pastor, at this point in our proceedings, I've made a note that I would ask you to make a few brief comments. Brief. No three-part sermon.
But he does have handouts.
Oh. I'm sorry I asked. Pastor, please.
I wrote down a few things. Oh, so many things to say. Next week I'm going to feel like a seminarian for this first sermon, trying to get everything in. I made some comments to the council when they met with Connie, and I thanked them, I thanked the congregation through them for so many things. Giving myself and the staff the resources we need to do our ministry, that's so terribly important. Being open to the leading of God, whether it's through Bowen family systems theory, or just getting past the conflict and understanding that we're all in mission together, and we all have our own ideas and our own preferences and our own opinions, and those are good for input, but the end result may not always be what we want, but we pray and trust it's what God wants, and that you have embraced that kind of thought through the understanding of the core values and the mission, that it's not about any one of us, it's about all of us as we serve God. You have been so supportive of me during my illness and during Susan's recent illness. I can't thank you enough. And for all the gracious words you have given me. You have expanded my horizons, especially globally, through the missionaries we have supported in Papua New Guinea and Suriname, through the mission to Haiti, to our seminarian in, I was going to say Trinity, that's not right, Lutheran Southern Seminary, and the council is working to get a visit from our seminarian, to the awareness of the ministries in Africa through Senegal and Peter Hansen, who was there for how many years? 9 years. Just expanding my horizons and opening things for me. You have been just most gracious, and I appreciate that. Some of you may have read the beacon that was very difficult for me to write, I mean. But a couple of things that I put in there that I want to share with you again. As Karen said, this is not the end. The congregation goes on. There are ministers that come and go. There are people that come and go. But the DNA of this congregation is just about set in concrete in the mission statement and the core values. And those will go on. In my newsletter, I wrote this, or I borrowed this. It is the internal work of a congregation that creates a magnetic force, attracting those in search of a meaningful community of faith. Trinity is nothing if it's not a meaningful community of faith. And people will be attracted to this community, and they will want to join because of the ministries that you do in the name of Christ. And so that will go on and go on. The other thing that I quoted in my Beacon article was this, and I'm going to sort of go over this quickly because it's going to be said in another form in a few minutes. There's often so much I wish I had said or done, or hadn't said or done, and the moments slip through my fingers. But we do the best we can with what we have, and we entrust them into God's hands, and then ourselves as well, as we lie down at night and contemplate what a holy and terrifying endeavor it is to be part of shaping people. By a Reverend Kara Root, who was talking about an empty nest syndrome and how parents get to shape children. But it also has to do with how we get to shape one another. I have to say a couple of things, and then I have a handout.
Surprise! It's not numbered lines or
Up until midnight on Valentine's Day, by the way, that's my day off, so don't call me. Up till midnight on Valentine's Day, I will fill the office of pastor here at Trinity. This is a sacred office and a sacred trust. At midnight on February 14th, I will no longer be filling that office. There will be an interim pastor filling that office, and then after that, another pastor. It is the office of ministry. It is word and sacrament. And so I will no longer be your pastor. It's not appropriate for me to do baptisms or funerals or weddings or give you advice, pastoral advice, or listen to your complaints about what is happening in my absence or any of that. It's just not appropriate. But what is appropriate is ongoing prayers, and I'm not falling off the face of the earth. I'm just right down the street. I do have an iPad and an email, so it's not like we'll never see each other again. But I appreciate all the words of acclamation, and I really, more than you know, but also more than you know, you have shaped me. And I want to thank you in a musical way. And contrary to what Brian said, this is not liturgical. But if you would, for about 4 minutes, listen to the words of the song. I'm going to pass out the words. And I got one of my favorite Broadway singers, Kristen Chenoweth, to sing this for me. Susan and I, a year ago for my 65th birthday, at my request, in the middle of winter, went to Times Square. And we spent 3 or 4 days there. And one of the things we did was saw the musical Wicked. And in Wicked, there are a bunch of witches. And there's Glinda, the good witch. And there's Elphaba,